What's up, everybody? At you on a Monday instead of our regular Sunday, the FILA Sports Podcast. That is the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. Your boy, Coach Mario, with my co-host, the Don. What's going on, man?
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? It's my fault that we didn't record yesterday. I pretty much did an expedition this weekend because I went to the United game, United match against Chicago, and I also went to a Braves game yesterday. So that's why we was MIA last night. But we back tonight. Hey, this is your first time watching our show. Share this video and share our channel with other people who love Atlanta sports. It doesn't matter if they like one team or all Atlanta teams. Also, make sure you share, make sure you like and also comment. Everybody who's joining us live tonight, we're gonna give y'all a shout out here in a minute. But hey, we back tonight, and tonight we're gonna talk from Atlanta United soccer. So as always,
come holla at your hometown.
It's frozen?
Nah, I said come holla. You can hear me?
Oh, we ain't hear you.
Start over.
As always,
come. There you go.
It's your hometown
sports podcast. Yeah.
Man, one day we off and then mess up everything.
I was saying it didn't lag on my side. I had said the holla. I'm like, where you at? Yeah, I saw Jay moving. Yeah, you were moving. Yeah, I guess the internet. Hey, I got AT&T 300. It's not my internet.
Drop that sponsor. Drop the sponsorship.
I know, right? Yeah, y'all need to get. Look, I just upgraded the 300 from 100 a couple days ago. It was the same price.
I got Xfinity, so I know it ain't mine.
and I'm hardwired right now. I'm not even Ethernet.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. As always, you want to our special guest we have today. You know, no stranger to our show. You know, introduce yourself, Jay. Let them know who you are and where they can find you at.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. My name is Jay Riddle. I'm on the Unrelegated Podcast, which is part of the Atlanta United Fan TV network, and also a part of a new venture called For Real Sports as well. And yeah, I talk about all things Atlanta United.
Yep. Jay is officially a hometown supporter for the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. So just let y'all know, he was on our show before, like I believe like a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Me and Jay, we pretty much linked up Saturday during the tailgate. I'm gonna talk about the tailgate later, but it was awesome. Like I done been to Braves tailgates, I done been to college tailgates, 5 tailgates, hot, sometimes you know there's some fans that do tailgates. But I've been to a lot of tailgates, and like that experience was great. I'm telling you.
I haven't been to a United game yet, but I told my wife that's what I want for Father's Day. So I should be going soon, and I'm going to. I told my wife she asked the other day Father's Day. I said, you know what? I want to go to a United game, so I'll be going soon.
The next time they play is on the 29th. Am I right?
Yeah, they got like 3 weeks off.
Home game.
Yep.
But look, when you go, make sure you join like Terminus Legion or Faction. They have some other tailgating like
I'm going to tailgate.
Like when you join them, well, I ain't gonna give it all up right now. So gotcha. We're gonna, cause I know we got to get into the other business part of the show. But also, guys, I've been telling y'all this lately. We're now on Spotify. We also on Google Podcasts. If you don't want to watch the video on YouTube, or you just want to just listen to it on Spotify, hey, the links are in the description. So just click that link. Make sure you, subscribe to it on to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and hey, listen to it while you at work or you driving or whatever the case may be. So hey, just we over there on those platforms as well. All right. Let's talk about let's go and get to the order of business. Mario, going to start it off, man.
Okay, everybody, let's run through the weekend sports. Since we talked to you guys last Sunday, the Atlanta Dream last Friday. They took on Seattle. We were winners there, 82-66. And on Sunday, we had the Washington Mystics, and we were on the losing end of that one, 96-75. So early in the season, Atlanta Dream. We're expecting to have a very strong team this year, and we're off to a good start already.
It's yeah. This week wasn't good enough.
It wasn't.
It just growing. I ain't gonna say growing pain, but I think we're not really nowhere near where we need to be. I give it another month to these ladies. They're gonna really start, putting a clinic on these other teams. So, all right, let's talk about Braves this week. Well, we didn't get the job done against Washington. That's who we really need those W's with. We really need to beat Washington because they're in our division. And we lost Tuesday against them 5-4. And we I don't even want to talk about Wednesday. 14-4. Like the only person that pretty much put runs on the board was Austin Riley. He had the grand slam. All right, and speaking of Austin Riley, he's also named the National League Rookie of the Month for me. It's kind of funny because a month ago, no one even knew who this kid was.
Yeah, I know, right?
No one knew who Austin Riley was.
And what's funny, had you asked pretty much anybody, if I would have named probably 2 or 3 other guys that I thought might have been called up that might have got the award before Austin Riley. Like I would have said Pachi. I would have said I always forget the other third baseman name. Well, Austin Riley. It was a couple other guys that I would have named, but Austin Riley, man, he showing up, man.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about Pachi. I don't think Pachi's ready yet.
Yeah. I'm real high on him.
I'm ready to see him up next year. But we got so much talent already that's up here. So
I'm high on him, but he's been struggling. Not struggling, but he hasn't been doing as well as I thought he'd do early in AAA.
Yeah. And also Friday, Detroit came to town, and we lost against them 8-2. Saturday, we won 10-5, and yesterday we won 7-4. I was at that game yesterday, and it was a slow start in the beginning, and then looked like the bullpen was going to end up blowing the lead. And Dansby, Dansby has been on fire, man. I don't know if anybody been watching or following the Braves, but this man has been playing out of his mind. He's pretty much having a MVP type season. And if he continue, I'm telling you, if he continue this track, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna be the National League MVP.
I mean, you can make a case right now. He should be the starting shortstop in the NL All-Star game.
Yeah.
You can make a strong case right now that he could be certainly on the team, but he should probably be starting as shortstop on the National League team right now.
I agree. Also, today there was no game today because there was a draft. There was an MLB draft, and this news just came out like 25 minutes ago. The Braves drafted catcher Shea Langarius. I'm not good with these. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. He was a center for Baylor University, and they picked him with the 9th pick of the MLB draft. I know I read some reviews and conversations. Some people said, "Well, why we didn't get a pitcher?" Like we already have pitchers, you guys, in our farm system. They just haven't developed yet. Just give them time. Like
you're not gonna draft a guy. It's not like football. You're not going to draft a pitcher and see him on the mound in a couple months. No, you draft a pitcher, you're not going to see him for a few years.
Exactly. That's pretty much any player. Most players, you draft them, they might not make an MLB debut. This is not basketball. This is not football.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right. Also, SunTrust Park, if this news came out, we pretty much leaked it last week, but it's official. SunTrust Park will be hosting the 2021 All-Star Game. So Go ahead and get your money saved up and go ahead and start. If you're going to that game, go on and start leaving your house now because you know the traffic will be bad.
What are they hitting people for that to go to the All-Star game now?
Talking about how much it costs?
Yeah.
I'm research that today. Yeah. As soon as this podcast is over, I'm definitely gonna look that up. Look, you got me interested.
I'm about to look it up. I'm about to look. When you go over this hot stuff real quick, I'm about to go look it up now.
Okay.
Because it's in Cleveland this year, so.
I'm just wondering if they're going to put the SunTrust Park tax on it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get the Smyrna tax. Oh yeah, you're gonna get the car. You're gonna get the battery tax. Hawks rumor. You know, we even discussed me and we even discussed where we were gonna read this. No, you see, I can't even get it out because I'm so flabbergasted even looking at my notes. There was a rumor on Twitter. Look, you see Don over there laughing. We even discussed if we were gonna read this nonsense. Hawks. There was a rumor on Twitter that we're interested in trading JC John Collins and some other stuff for Blake Griffin. I think that's the most ridiculous rumor I've ever had because John Collins is a double-double guy who's 21 years old. Blake Griffin is a 30-year-old guy who hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been healthy in years, so I don't see us trading a guy who's 21 and averaging a double-double his second year in the league for a guy who's been in the league, Blake Griffin, close to 10 now, probably somewhere around in there. And how many times has he played even 70 games? So I think that's pretty ridiculous. I only saw one person tweeting it, and I saw some people discussing it on Twitter. I think that would be I don't think that's going to happen.
Always want to bring up these rumors and speculations of who's coming to Atlanta. Like, you're not going to really find out until after the draft. That's when these free agents, and then Blake is not even a free agent. He still got 3 more years left on his deal in Detroit. So I don't think he's coming.
John Collins isn't in his prime yet, and he's averaging a double-double. I mean, so why would you trade? Like, you know, it just doesn't seem to make much sense to me. But you know,
yeah.
Let's see. Not much Falcons news. We waived safety Abadi Lagoda. That was a local kid from Brookwood that we just signed recently, and he was a safety. We waived him, and then 2 days later, we signed safety Jason Thompson. I said this a couple weeks ago. A lot of people wonder, like, why do teams do that? Why do teams, they'll release a guy and sign? Well, sometimes imagine it like this. Let's say you have this player rated as a 6, this player rated as a 7. Well, if you have this player rated as a 7, him as a 6, and you can get a 7 instead of 6, you get rid of the 6 to bring in a 7. Simple, right? That's why a lot of times you see that jockeying, or sometimes to fit a specific need, but a lot of times it's just that we have you rated a little higher, or we like your skill set a little bit at this, so we're going to get the best guys we can. So that's why the times you see a lot, you see that happening a lot of times in the NFL.
Yeah. Minicamp begin next week, June 11th. I'm pretty sure they're gonna open out to the public. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. That's during like the weekday. I have to work. Yes, I work. So I don't think I'm gonna make it to that. Also, Falcons fans, chill out. Just because we did not get McCoy is not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure he have on the squad already. All right. McCoy was not coming here. And we said this before. McCoy was never coming to Atlanta. Like, Carolina signed this man for $8 million a year, and they still gonna end up missing the playoffs. So it doesn't matter. Like, they still gonna end up missing the playoffs. Like, coaching matters in this league, you guys. Coaching matters in any sport. You can have all the talent you want to, but if you can't coach them up, you're not gonna be contenders.
One more thing we need to relax on, fans. We must relax. Vic Beasley, hey man, because this man is getting flack because he put it that he didn't attend a pass rush summit to go to his charity. Like, man, people relax. If you think that Vic Beasley was going to just get magically better over one session anyway. And plus wherever Vic Beasley is, I'm sure he's working out. You know what I'm saying? I've been critical of Vic Beasley. So, I'm one of the people I've been critical, but to criticize this man about not going to a pass rush summit because he went to his charity, man, relax, people. Relax, man. Relax.
Some people talk about, he could have had that charity event months ago. He knew he had to do. Like, do you realize he's working with kids? He's doing a charity event, kids. A couple of months ago, these kids were still in school, so they could not do it.
Hey, Don.
This is a veteran.
Guess what? Yep. Hey, Don. Guess what?
What?
How do you know 2 months ago he didn't go work out with Von Miller? This, that. You know what I'm saying? How do you know what this man was doing 2 months ago? Relax, quick. Worried about this man's personal time. All right. I'm pretty sure Vic Beasley is working out. I'm pretty sure. Guess who's feeling pressure right now? Vic Beasley. Of course he's feeling it. Like, I'm pretty sure he's working out. And even if he isn't, one weekend wasn't gonna magically save him. Relax, people.
The man is working out, guys. He's on his last year of his deal. Like, even if we don't sign him, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up. And I'm going to piss a lot of people off. He's going to end up in this for the Falcons. Even if, say for instance, in some of y'all minds, in a perfect world, we don't resign him. Guess what? He's still young. He wants to get paid. He still want to be in this league for a long time. So he's working out. He's trying to get paid. And he is gonna get paid. All right. So enough of that. But I did find tickets to the All-Star game. Yeah. Ticket. Look, that's the cheapest tickets I can find.
That was the upper dome. Okay.
Wow.
So, like I said, like I already know how inflation and stuff goes, and then on top of that, SunTrust is like a newer stadium than I guess Progressive Field in Cleveland. Yeah, you gonna probably be spending like $700 to sit pretty much in the Coca-Cola Sky Zone area.
This is not your daddy's All-Star game.
So, like, if you want to go 2021, you better start putting down like $50 a month.
Or just do what a lot of other people do. Just show up, go grab a steak at the Chop House next to the stadium and watch it on the TV at SunTrust Park.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's what I might end up doing. As long as I'm there in the vicinity, I'm good.
There you go.
I remember when the All-Star game was here in 2000 at Turner Field, because I lived right up the street from the stadium, and I was 12, 13 at the time. Like, I was outside the stadium, and they had they had the little TV, the little vision box.
Oh yeah.
And like I was just sitting there just watching it off that. So, but if y'all want to go on and save your money. All right. So what's going on in the college world, Coach?
Pretty quiet week. UGA baseball was eliminated in the regionals by Florida State. They were playing at home. A lot of people were surprised. They were expecting us to go further. Pretty much same thing happened to UGA last year. They were seeded and they were expected to go a little higher. Didn't end like they wanted. Florida State eliminated them, so this end all for UGA baseball. And on the football front, Warren Branson, D tackle from IMG, recommitted to UGA. He had committed to UGA several months ago, and then in January he took a look around and he was supposed to be really interested in Florida. And he recommitted to UGA. Warren Branson, D tackle, and we're bringing in 4 D tackles. I know they got Burrows, they got Branson, they got my boy Stack, and one more I'm leaving out. So and on Georgia Tech news, same thing, lost in the super regionals to Auburn on a walk-off home run, and I mean, like, the air was let out, man. You should have saw the players. They were dejected. Walk-off home run ends. All we needed was an out. All we needed was an out. And, walk-off home run, and Georgia Tech was eliminated as well. Auburn put them out. So pretty much that's where we are on the college.
Man, we can't win nothing, man.
Did you see it? Did you see the clip? Did you see the clip, man? The walk off, oh man, those players were dejected, man. Oh man, they were dejected. Just needed one out, just to go to the finals. They were in the well. I'm sorry, they were in the finals. Yeah,
Georgia sports for you,
man. Epitome of Georgia.
I don't like talking bad about like my teams, like, but it's just, oh man, it's just how it is, man.
Their faces look like Don's face when he saw those All-Star ticket prices.
For real, exactly.
Yeah,
but that's all pretty much for the college and for the weekly wrap up. So
let's get
some soccer.
Yeah, let's get into the chat first before we get into soccer though.
Yeah,
CC Ryder.
Yep.
How you doing tonight? He does his own little channel. Y'all check him out on his YouTube channel. He talk about the Falcons. He said Swanson is looking for a big contract, 5 years, $100 million, no cap. I'm pretty sure he is because he just seen Acuna and Ozzie and all these other players got paid, and he also seeing Austin Riley, who just got called up looking for a contract. So, hey, by all means,
we have it.
Paid, but at the same time, Dansby, he's looking out to, revenge last year because everybody thought, oh, he a bust.
He's a bust.
But he had surgery on that wrist, and that pretty much changed a lot. You can see the difference in him this season from last year. CC, he also said that Vic Beasley is down there having a Coke and a smile. I saw your video. CC. Man, come on now. Look, man. Sometimes, man, we gotta be real with ourselves. Vic Beasley is gonna be fine. I promise you. Vic Beasley, he will be fine. I know a lot of people in the fan base. Vic Beasley should be at camp. It's voluntary. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there next week when they do mini camp.
He already said he was.
Yeah,
he already said he'll be there.
He's not holding out because he already got. He's getting his 12.5 mil. This is, it's 12.8.
Yep.
Okay, so he's getting his 12.8 mil contract. That's guaranteed. So
he's not gonna miss any time. Why would he?
Even if he get hurt, he's still getting paid that money.
Yep.
So it don't matter. He just, he doing his own little thing right now. So,
I mean, it's really it's typical. I mean, this happens every year, this part of the year. I mean, players do charity events and other events. This is the time you do it. You like, why don't they do it early in the year? Well, you don't have a football camp in January and February because it's cold.
Especially these are veteran players, and the season's a long season. These guys are protecting their bodies. They have personal fitness guys that work with the science team. Mm-hmm. They're everything they're doing is being tracked by the team, anyways. I mean, I don't get what the big hoopla is. This is not a decade ago where these guys show up to every single camp the coach puts on or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And you want, as a fan, as a ATLian, like a lot of you guys say you are, I know I am, you want these players to give back to the community. That's what he's doing. He's giving back to the community. I see if he out in Miami at the club or something, posting Instagram pictures and stuff like that, then yeah, you might want to be concerned about that a little bit. But he's not. He's giving back to the community. He's working out. He's working out with Bud Dupree. I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, Bud Dupree trash." No, he's not. All right. The Bud Dupree plays in the 3-4 scheme. We're going to be moving. I'm telling you, the Falcons defense is going to be moving to a 34 defense. All right. If y'all don't know what the 34, I ain't got time to talk about it tonight. But if y'all want to know what the 34 defense is, it's similar to a 43 under. But go check out Mad Mike Sports, his channel, because he just did a video, I believe, yesterday or the day before on 34 defense. Go check his video out, and he breaks it down real good for you guys. All right, on to the meat and potatoes for the show. Let's talk about some United soccer. This week was a great week for the boys in stripes. All right, we Minnesota came to town, and we beat them 3-0. And then Saturday, let me get back to the Minnesota game. It's kind of funny because at the last few minutes of the match, Joseph, he pretty much scored 2 goals. That right there was like it was weird, but it was nice. It was nice. And then Saturday, the match I went to, we played Chicago, and we won that game 2-0. And Joseph, he scored all the goals in that game.
Good to be king. So yeah, he's back. What's that? 9 goals in his last 10 games. So very, very impressive. Great numbers. And listen, as I told people on the way out, I wish we could play Chicago every week because I don't know what they were doing, but they were playing. I was sitting next to Tanner McLeod, who's also a presenter on Atlanta United Fan TV, and 10 minutes in, he points at the field and he says, "Look at how high up their defense is. They got like one center back hanging out back there with Joseph. Typically, teams come into the bends, they either bunker or if they're not bunkering, they at least have 3 in the back and 2 guys, all right, are on Joseph at all times." And that's when he struggled at times. And Popovich, the coach for Chicago Fire, just let him run free. So as soon as that first goal opened up where P.T. Martinez slid in that beautiful assist and just carved them up at the top of their box and poked it through for Joseph for that first goal, they had to chase the game. And that, those tactics that he was using, he was punished, by Joseph with those tactics. And it could have been 3 or 4-0 in that game. So yeah, it was a great result. It was good to see the team kind of playing some entertaining soccer. I would say the Minnesota game was not as entertaining. It still felt like it could have been 1-0, and we got lucky because were gifted some goals at the end. In my opinion, Apara, who's one of the best center backs in the league, went ahead and headed a ball back to Joseph with his magic donut on his head he had for his concussion protocol. And I don't know if that was affecting his brain. He had it on too tight, but he just gifted Joseph the ball in that Minnesota match, which led to the last the goal. So I think the goal, the scoreline was a little deceptive in that first game. But hey, you take the results. This is an insane run of 8 clean sheets, which for those listening don't know much about soccer, that means that we haven't been scored on. And that's something that is very, very difficult in this league.
Yeah, I noticed Chicago, like the second half, they were really trying to double team Joseph.
They did switch it up. Yeah, they kept more of a 3 in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. But they were a little too late. They should have did. Well, I'm not going to get play, but they should have did at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think Chicago's struggling in form right now. They're not able to pull out results. We took advantage of that. And I think the team has a lot of areas to improve on. I think they said that in a recent article. Frank DeBoer said that. But you take what's in front of you and you get the results. So and more importantly, we're getting these results at home, and we're keeping this stadium a fortress.
Yes, and it was loud.
Yeah, 67,000, something like that. Tickets sold for that match. And Don, you were at the tailgate. You saw the 4,000 or 5,000 people at the tailgate as well. And in addition to that, which probably is our biggest tailgate since the home opener. It's been a little light at the tailgate recently, but people are school's out, summer weather's out, and people were really hopping. And I think the after party went on for a few hours, even after the game down there at the Gulch. So it was a lot of fun. Great to meet your son, and great to see you down there.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So Atlanta United, I looked at the thing. It said Philadelphia Union is in first. So are we in first or Philadelphia in first?
Yeah. So Philly just won their match the other night against Minnesota. Minnesota's in the Western Conference, so I think people were crossing their fingers that Minnesota would beat Philadelphia to allow Atlanta United to kind of slide up into that first place. But we still have a couple games in hand for a lot of teams that are in that top 5. And so I don't think it's just a matter of time until we slide into that number 1 slot, especially if we maintain this level of consistency in our defense. And P.T. Martinez, who I think is the key to all of this, continues to improve. I still think he's stuck in second gear, but you can see that even when he's not having this brilliance that we're used to seeing from when you watched him play in South America and things like that, that he has the creativity and the skill to just have a magic moment or a moment of brilliance that can be a game changer. And as long as those moments of brilliance are him feeding Joseph the ball, then I don't think we'll have any issues. And people have to remember, out of those seven out of those last 8 matches, Barco has been gone. He's been playing for the Argentina under-20 World Cup, and he was really the one was kind of pushing our offense along before he left, and people weren't sure how we were going to get those goals without Barco, because he's just been having an insane season. He was, one of the players of the week several times for MLS before he departed. Then he's coming back, and then we have, of course, a long rest as well. So Brad Guzan was interviewed and basically said, these results don't mean anything unless we come back after this 3-week break and we continue to do what we've been doing. And that's true. So it's still very early in the season, but it's just good to see that the team is progressing. And that was the biggest thing. I think last time I talked to you guys, the team was struggling quite a bit. Yeah. And we talked about patience because it's a new coach, new players. We're missing our big number 10 player, Miguel Almiron. Tata Martino played a very different style of soccer. And there was a recent interview the other day, it was just released on Yahoo Sports with Frank de Boer, where there's some interesting insights where Frank de Boer was honest and said, listen, I tried to essentially maybe change too much or was too rigid in the beginning. We had a players meeting. The players, he didn't say this, but it's clear that the players were not happy. Maybe there's communication issues. And the coaching staff did a great job, it sounds like, of really listening, and the players engaging and not just tuning off and saying, no, we're all committed to this process, but let's do things a little differently. And he's been flexible with especially the South American players who like to do things a little differently, that were very comfortable under Tata's system, because Tata Martino is from Argentina. And so they were, kind of symbiotic in a lot of the things, the cultural aspects of the game. And Frank de Boer came out and said that, there is a part of the training at the end of each day that the South American players like to just take it easy, have a laugh, shoot the ball around a little bit, and they like to just relax, look almost like a recreational training at the end of each day. And he says, I hate it. But he says, you know what? That's something they like. So what are you going to do? That's what's more important, me disliking it, or it keeps them in the zone. So obviously he's been very flexible, and that's what I think people were most concerned with in the beginning of the season. That's what I was concerned with. I thought maybe he was coming in trying to be too rigid, and that rigidity is fine as long as you listen, you change and adapt, and you adapt your tactics. And that's what he's been doing with this team. And you could see that, as he said, I wanted to focus too much on defense in the beginning. They didn't like that, but at the same time, you can see that they have started to buy into his system, because defensively, we're just not letting goals in. And as much as I think we're lucky in some of those games to not have conceded, statistically, you can't point at anything other than the fact that this team has improved defensively since last season, I think.
Yeah, and people got to understand too, like what you just said, Frank de Boer, he's from Europe. He's from the Netherlands. Some of these players we got on our team, they from South America.
Yeah, 7 players.
Totally different style of soccer. Like, soccer, everybody thinks soccer is the same. No, it's not. They got different schemes. Like European soccer is different from South American soccer. It's totally different.
And listen, just like when you get a new boss, you're not always going to like your new boss. There may be certain characteristics about Tata Martino that people really liked, that players really liked. There may have been things that there have been players that didn't really like Tata Martino. Gressel kind of jockeyed, ironically, it wasn't a South American player, it was kind of Gressel coming out and kind of giving the scoop on Frank de Boer, just saying, listen, he's, and LGP alluded this to as well, previous articles, that, Frank de Boer likes to just walk in the locker room. That's something in South America that just doesn't happen. There's a cultural divide where the coach just kind of stays away, doesn't get really friendly with the players. It's just down to business. He shows up. He doesn't go in the training room without asking, the locker room, sorry. And that's just not how it is in Europe and America. So they're adapting to that. And he's just also someone who likes to be on the soccer pitch and training. He can still bang away free kicks. The guy's, a champion, won trophies in Europe. As a player, he still got it. And you could see when I talk to reporters that see him on the training field that he may seem very rigid or very boring or like a very droning way of speaking. And I think he gets dinged for that, his character aspects versus what he's doing as a coach. But on the pitch, he's very jovial. very friendly. He likes to sit down, play cards with the guys. He likes to find out about their personal lives. He likes to kind of get to know them better. But you know what? There may be players that don't like that. So you're always going to have some players that just don't like, the coach. But I think what the important thing is that he has the respect of the players, and I think that's something that you can clearly see.
Yeah, the Fire Frank tweets have certainly slowed down from the last time we talked. Yeah, I'm not seeing any anymore. Yeah.
Got a little quiet.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Which I'm pretty sure makes him relax more. The team relax, like you say. It seems like they're getting comfortable with each other and settling in. And hopefully, like last year, when you look at the team, they just look like they enjoy playing with each other and having fun.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the games earlier this year, that I just didn't get that feel. I didn't get that feel. And watching last week, of course, it's always fun when you're winning. But watching last week, it looked like they were back to having fun, and it just looked like I had that feel from last year more.
Yeah, and there's a couple things, right? Last season, Tata Martino had difficult breaking down bunkering teams, just the same as Frank DeBoer's side does. The difference is Atlanta United blew some very big leads last season. There were some games against Dallas where in the dying minutes, they lost drop points. Similar to what's happened last season is you're not going to see that this season, I think, because it's tough because it does seem less entertaining at times, especially if we're in the lead, because Frank DeBoer has them controlling possession. And even though statistically Chicago had almost equal possession, it's because we started to kind of gift them the ball and back up a little bit and play more compact and more defensively, but because they weren't really being dangerous. But at the same time, when you watch this team, they're stringing so many passes together. The big difference in the last couple of games is that we're actually seeing that penetration now. So instead of just the possession, these guys are starting to get a better feel, but it's so important that players like Barco and PT are on point, because they are the ones that need to deliver the ball to Joseph, and he could slice up that defense if he gets those through balls. So the finishing product is coming. I don't even think the team is out of second gear. I always said that wait until end of June, July, and we'll really start to see the real Atlanta United. And I think even Frank DeBoer thinks that things are progressing a lot faster than he expected, because he's the one that said, give us 6 months. I need 6 months for this system to really take hold.
And that's how it was last year. Like we was at a slow start at the beginning of the season, and end of May, that's when pretty much the light bulb started turning on, and we start gaining momentum in June or July, and
Yeah, we got more points in the last first 15 games this season than we did last season.
Yeah.
So as much as I just think the results and the changes were so dramatic this season early on, it felt like more of a gut punch. It felt like we were moving much slower, and there was a lot of fear-based analysis, even from my own perspective, because there's so many unknowns that you don't know what's going on, and so you start to fill in those gaps with assumptions. It's just something natural that we do, and we're analyzing sports. But the big thing here is that I'm looking forward to is Barco's return. Tito's still injured at the time. We saw that we could still put on a performance when he's not on the field, and when Gressel, in my opinion, is still exhausted and has been just running to the ground in these last run of games, because he's been started like every single match. And I don't think he's even played that well the last few games. He was fine this game, but the few games before that, he was starting to really struggle. And the fact is, we have the type of quality on this team that if we are playing and being coached effectively, and the players are taking accountability, that if there are 2 or 3 players that are not playing well, it shouldn't matter, because we should have the quality and the ability to overcome that and still win. And that's what I think puts Atlanta United above a lot of these other teams that you still see at the top of the table. I think we're going to start to see some separation because of that quality that this team has in terms of the talent of the players.
Yeah, we just, fans, they just gotta, and a lot of fans, it's weird because it's night and day with other Atlanta sports teams. Like it's like Hawks fans, Braves fans, Falcons fans, we have impatient fans. I never met, even though we United going in their third year, but I never met or never encountered any United fans that was impatient. Like they know the process, and we just won a championship. I'm not sitting up here and going to say that we're satisfied with just that championship we won last year. I'm pretty sure we want to have a dynasty here in Atlanta with Atlanta United. That's what we want.
And I think a big part of it too is just we're dealing with a cultural shift, right? We were sold and we drank the Kool-Aid for 2 years on this very flamboyant attacking style of South American soccer, right? Mm-hmm. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. And Frank de Boer's way of playing relies a lot on that possession and killing teams off. And so you may see a lot more 1-0 wins, 1-0 wins and things like that this season. And it may not feel, because that's what we go based off sometimes, is how do we feel at the end of the game or during the game? Do we feel as hyped or as excited? We may not have as many of those exciting moments over the course of the game, but you could still see. Don't tell me that the pass to Joseph the other day and Joseph's performances aren't exciting. What's happening, though, is we're getting these early leads and we're holding on to them. And so there's a lot of them 30, 40 minutes of us passing around the ball and nothing's happening. These teams are out of ideas and it can come off as kind of boring, but they're winning the games.
Yep. Just like CCG just said in the chat, he said Gazan, the goal tender, is playing great defense so far.
Yeah. And I think he's such an important. I think it's not just his quality. Do I think he's a top three? I think it's debatable if he's top 3 goalkeeper in my books in terms of talent. But his intangible is his ability to motivate and really be a team player. You saw him after the loss at Red Bull Arena. The unified team of Special Olympics players were playing. Atlanta was playing the Red Bull Special Olympic team, and I mean immediately after that loss, he's up there first getting with all the guys, chin ups, next game, don't worry about it. And then he runs out with the kids and gets them all pumped up, and he's all hyped up and getting them hyped up for the game. And, those types of intangibles and that kind of locker room experience are very important. And it's very important that we have those types of characters when we've been going through such difficult changes, that we have veterans like Guzan who have been through it all. Right, veterans like Leandro Gonzalez-Pirez, who have played for top teams in Argentina in cup matches and things like that, and Parkhurst and Lorenowitz. These guys may not be all getting starting minutes anymore, but they're very important to this team in other ways.
All right, so we got a long road stretch, like we said earlier in the show. The next home game is like the end of this month. Yeah. So how do you think this is going to affect the team?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I bet the sports science guys are sweating it right now because we've had, 10,000 miles. I mean, it was more travel than any other team in this last run of games already. Wow. Than any other MLS team. And it's not just us. The funny thing is, if you look at teams across the league and how they've been performing, it's all over the place because these teams have been beat up by just this travel schedule that the league has put through to get ready for this international break. Everything's so squashed together. And so thankfully, part of the reason that we're seeing ourselves elevated in the table right now is not just because of our own results, but also because the teams in the East have really been struggling as well. So that's been to our benefit. I think that we've shown that when we go on the road, we're just like any other MLS team. We can struggle, we can have difficulty. But I think what's calming is that, a good defense is much more likely to be successful in away matches than you're more likely to do well on the road, I think, if you are playing good defense than if you try to outscore your opponent. Sure. And so this team may be built for these away matches. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's really going to be interesting, the rotation. We've seen Dion Pereira come on quite a bit, especially with Tito injured now. He's going to be an important piece. Very young guy that came over from Watford in England, was playing for Atlanta United too. And he's been amazing. I mean, he's one of those guys, he reminded me of Carlton last year, where when we put him on the pitch a couple times, he's not afraid to take on players 1v1. He just diced up defenders. I mean, just made them look these veterans look like idiots. And so that's really inspiring to see. So Frank DeBoer, we have to also remember, it comes from a team and a system that is based off of playing youth, and we've seen Miles Robinson succeed under that as well. So I'm probably least worried this season about away travel than I was last season, because I feel like we have a coach and a system that's invested in finding and tapping into those youth players and bringing them, not afraid to bring them in and play minutes. Where Tata was more, I would say, rigid in his want or need to play players more regularly and consistently in the same position all the time. And we saw that lead to some big injuries last season. So, Tata Martino may get a statue at some point here in Atlanta, but he's by no means a saint, and he was by no means a perfect coach. So Frank DeBoer may bring some of those qualities over that may help us achieve maybe even a better away win statistically this season than we did last season. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, we really need to improve on the road, because I know we didn't really do well on the road, but at home, that place was like a fortress. Yeah. Mercedes-Benz Stadium was a fortress, and it still is this season. I know we lost a couple of home games, but hey. So tailgating experience. I'm going to talk about this for a minute. So Saturday, I went down to the Gulch. That's where everybody tailgates at for the United fans. And shouts out to Terminus Legion. I'm now, I guess, a part of the Terminus Legion tailgating experience. So I'm gonna probably have, I guess, the president of Terminus Legion. I'm having him on the show later on, I guess, sometime this summer.
Yeah, Domer. Yeah.
Oh, you know him?
Oh, I know all those guys. Yeah, they're great. Their last president was Austin Long, and the current president is Domer Donaldson. And all
Domer.
great.
Shouts out to Domer.
Yeah, all great people, great organization. I remember the faction where Don was down by us. There's also the Footy Mob right next to there as well, and then Resurgence, and then an unofficial group called La Dulce or La 12 Day Atlanta, which puts on a hell of a tailgate as well. And so they're all down there together, and yeah, that was great seeing you down there.
Yeah, the faction, I appreciate it. The faction, the faction, they showed me some love too. If any of you guys ever try to go to a United game, United match, go to the tailgate, all right? And you join one of those factions, like you can join the faction, you can join Terminus Legion. Y'all have like annual fees, and like I had to pay an annual fee with Terminus Legion. But once you pay that fee, you pretty much get all the alcohol you can drink, all the food you want to eat. Like seriously, like I don't drink, because there was a lot of people trying to like. There was a lot of people trying to hand me a cup, and I'm like, I don't drink. I'm good. Y'all got like a Coke or Sprite or bottle of water.
It's hard to come by down there. It's pretty much alcoholic beverages, but yeah, you're right. The membership fees range from anywhere from $5 to $25 typically. And that usually, it depends on whether you want a package that gets you a free shirt or not, or something like that, right? That's why there's a range. And then that's just what your membership dues. And then from there, each tailgate's different. Some are pay as you go. Some are like faction. You pay, a one-time per person fee at the tailgate. And $20 will get you all the Tito's vodka you can drink off the trailer, all the beer you can drink. We have restaurants that come in just like some of the other tailgates and have food. The game opener and the game closer every year, we roast a whole hog. So yeah, it's a big deal. That tailgate culture is a very important part of Atlanta United.
You know what? That's what I need you to do. Send me a link to the faction. I'm going to join y'all too.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. Me too, because I'm definitely coming to a game in June, and I can drink enough alcohol for me and Don. And especially, like I said, I told my wife I want to go to the game for Father's Day, so I'm pretty sure we'll ride train or she'll be driving. So, hey.
Yeah, and we know there's a lot of Tito's vodka fans out there, so. It's one of our sponsors, and so we serve it right on the tap. So it's a lot of fun. Jason Longshore and John Nelson from the Soccer Down Here, and also they call Atlanta United 2. Jason Longshore is also the 92.9 analyst, that is the color analyst for the Atlanta United games. Does a live show from the faction tailgate. first thing every tailgate as well. And then, of course, you're within 100 feet of all the other tailgates, and you can roam. And there's no reason that you have to stick at one. Hit them all up. Go tailgate hop.
Yeah, and the guys, the like Jay just said, these fees are not they're not that much at all. Like it's like if you put $20 or $25 in your gas tank, and it's for a year, a whole season.
Yeah, and like you said, it's all you can eat, all you can drink. Typically for a one-time, tailgate ticket or whatever that you pay when you get there. And the other thing is that these are nonprofits, right? So for example, I can only speak for the faction because I know exactly where the money goes. But it's the same. It's pretty much the same for the other ones. But for the faction, all that money goes to a number of charitable causes. We raised over $15,000 last year from our tailgates and other events for the Fugees, which is based in Clarkston, which is a refugee school and soccer team, and as well as for mental health awareness and some other charities like Soccer in the Streets as well. And before that, we raised it was over $25,000 last year. It was over $10,000 the first year. So so we're looking to continue to reach those goals, and so that money helps a lot of local programs as well here in Atlanta.
And I am a product of Soccer in the Street. Shouts out to Jessica. I know she's one of your unregulated
that's right
co-hosts. So shouts out to her because I know she works with Soccer in the Streets. But yeah, I used to play with Soccer in the Streets back in the day. Summer Hill they had a soccer team. Yes, we did have a soccer team.
We're learning so much about you this episode, Don.
What'd you say?
I'm certainly after hearing about the charitable part. I don't live too far from Clarkston, and I actually used to work in that community, and I used to work. I used to work a lot with refugees in the Clarkston area. So I mean, it was very gratifying work when I did that too. So I can't wait to sign up now. So that makes
we bring the kids to some games. They bus them over on the Fugees bus, and we have a great time with them every season. So it's a great organization, and we love what they do.
So another question I got to ask you. I know it's gonna be a dumb question. I'm gonna ask it anyway. Empanadas. Am I saying it right?
Empanadas.
Man, them things look good. I tried to look for one on Saturday, and I couldn't find anybody. They were selling nachos and stuff though, but I ain't wanting no nacho. I was looking for the empanadas.
There's a movement going on from a lot of Colombian supporters, in particular, that are trying to push to get an empanada specific vendor at Mercedes-Benz, because what you're alluding to, Don, is as part of 4 Real Sports, we released a 17-minute away day video that documented our travels to the New York Red Bulls match. It included hanging out with the Soccer Cooligans, which is a pair of comedians who do a soccer podcast at Madison Square Garden. And we had a studio audience of about 12 Atlanta United fans that joined us there. And then after that, we hung out with Alexis Guerreros of the Cooligans, who also runs a pizza tour company. And we went to a pizza shop and got to try out some fantastic pizza in New York and documented that as well as a whole host of other things, and hanging out with a guy, E, from the High Press Podcast, who's a Red Bull podcast up in New York, who hosted us and drove us to the game, and we tailgated with them. And one of the vendors, Brisas, we spotlighted them at halftime. And we did a segment on their empanadas and how they are the first empanada sports sponsor in America. And it's just two guys that quit their day jobs, because they went to the front office and said, "Hey, you need more Latin American food or Latin food." And the front office at New York Red Bull said, "Yeah, you're absolutely right." And they started a bakery, and they have a line that goes literally like 100 feet down by before halftime even starts for their empanadas. And so that's something that we've made good friends with them. If you want to watch that video, I think you'll really enjoy it. We had zero budget, but we put a lot of production value into it. I put a lot of time editing into it. We have great presenters on there. And I think you'll find that we kind of remove ourselves, and you can kind of come along for the journey and put yourself in the place of what a Major League Soccer away day experience is. And you can find that at the number 4realsports.com.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it this morning. That's what That's why I hit you up and I told you I watched it. But yeah, look, man, we can all band together and talk to Arthur Blank and tell him, hey, we need to put an empanada stand on the city band. Look, we can just get rid of the Chick-fil-A stand.
There you go. Yeah, there's Chick-fil-A's everywhere. You don't need another Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. Just put an empanada in there. You can walk outside the stadium and go up the street and get your Chick-fil-A sandwich. But yeah, we need to get some empanadas, an empanada stand in the bands. I think that'd be a great thing for the fans.
I'm sure it's just a matter before we see a petition. Matter of time.
I'm about to start that this week. I'm about to start it this week. But anyway, getting back to For Real Sports. I enjoyed every minute of it. I believe it was like 15, 16 minutes.
Yeah, it appears long from a YouTube standpoint. I think people are used to seeing these 4 to 8 minute videos on, when you see like a sports vlog or stuff like that. And we got a lot of advice from industry people, told us to cut it down. We did not. We feel that we tell a story in a certain way from a fan's perspective. We're not beholden to corporate sponsors or any ways of doing things. And so, we did something what typically would be a $15,000 production, and we did it in 3 days, shot it over 750 gigabytes of footage, and I edited it in 6 days. And we wanted to show that, we can do this. And this is something that you don't need to be a professional, or you don't need to wait for some company to start some new media outlet to do this. This is something that was raw, organic, and everything that you see that was said in the video was not scripted. So it's very organic. I think it really shows at the heart of, it's a passion project.
Yeah,
plain simple.
And I don't think it was long, and
it shouldn't feel like it. That's the whole point.
As the people who said it was, like, dude, y'all watch shows that's like 20, 30 minutes long. The show was it was only 15 minutes long, and I'm thinking, like, I'm watching it, and next thing I'm like literally engaged, because normally when I watch something that's like 10 minutes long or something, I'm probably multitasking, doing some work, just watching it at the same. But like I was pretty much like glued into the video, and I like how y'all showed the footage of y'all flying, driving to the airport in Atlanta. Then y'all got to New York City. Then y'all stayed in the Airbnb. I just found out what that is. I ain't know what.
Welcome to the land of the living, Don.
I know. Where you been, guy?
Man, hey, you know what that was, either, man. Don't play me, man.
What do you mean? I've been using Airbnb for years. I've done Airbnb plenty of times.
Talk to your mans.
Yeah, I've used it plenty of times.
Well, look, I didn't know what it was. I'm just like the person that just get a hotel room and just talk for the night. But like I looked at, I even downloaded the app. You know what I'm saying to myself? Oh man, because I'm thinking about going to Kansas City, to go up there just to eat some. Because like I went to college up there in that area. I love the barbecue, and I'm thinking like, okay, I can get a loft downtown Kansas City for $68 a night.
Hey, that's the point of the video, right? This is, not everybody, not everybody's traveled to a sports event, right? It's really a privilege and kind of a blessing if you have the money to be able to do that. And a lot of people that if they do think about going, they don't know anybody. They're like, what would I do? And not everybody has time to look up things to do and that sort of stuff. We want to see to show how much fun you can have when you do it, how engaging it can be. And also, things like that, like we stayed in an Airbnb in Harlem, and was referenced in the video, right? And you'll even notice some Coke product placements, and that's on purpose because this video, as much as it's a passion project, we can't fly ourselves to every game this season, budget-wise. So we're, working with some partners to engage some vendors and attempt to get sponsorship so that we can go and do more of these videos, because we think people really enjoy them. And we think some subtle Coke or Airbnb product placements don't take away from the experience that we give in our videos.
Yeah. And outside of the plane, you got to fly up there and then fly back, and then you got to actually pay for the game itself. But outside of that, I'm pretty sure you guys didn't really y'all didn't spend that much money.
No, the Airbnb was very helpful. We saved about $1,000 by doing that. We stayed at a penthouse that used to be actually Alexander Hamilton's home in Harlem. And I think the entire weekend was like $1,300. And that's in Manhattan. And so that comes out to like, for each of us that were staying there, it came out to like $130 a night. That's like a Howard Johnson out in the sticks, when you're staying in Manhattan at a penthouse. So it's a great product. And, I think it makes sports travel a lot easier for people than it did when you would have to look at hotels, which the prices would jack up during peak times and sports events. And Airbnb sort of breaks that mold and helps spread out that cost a little bit.
Yeah, and like because I know a lot of Atlanta fans, we don't travel well. All right, and just looking at the Airbnb, I'm thinking like, man, if I can just find me a cheap ticket to fly somewhere, I can just use Airbnb, or just link up. Me and Coach might want to go out there. We can just go half in on one.
See, when we go up in front,
man, you gonna have to help me out, man.
when we ring up Airbnb to try and convince them to sponsor our videos, I'm gonna show them this broadcast and show them, look, see how quick we got a new customer here.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I've used it a couple times. My wife and I, we've gone to Florida a couple times, and my wife, we've always rented a house with a pool, and you end up. You have to think too, because when you go out of town, obviously you're not cooking. But if you're doing it on a budget, Airbnb, I mean, there's a kitchen, you can cook. So we went to Florida. We went down to like my son was staying down at IMG for a week. So me and my wife went and rented a house, and they had a pool, and we had it was man, please. And we like to go to the cabins. My wife and I birthdays are both in February, and we like to go to the cabins, and we find out that Airbnb renting the cabin is cheaper than renting it through like the Blue Mountain. You know what I'm saying? You save probably, I mean, not much, but it's a little cheaper doing it through Airbnb. Airbnb gets a bad rep sometimes, but I've had a very great experience, matter of fact, with it every time I've used it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunately the world in which we live in, we do need money to do certain things, and so hopefully we think we can find a balance where we can find some funding to do at least help with some of the travel costs, so that we can continue to make videos like this, and not just with For Real Sports. It's not specific to Atlanta soccer. We'll be doing things with other sports in the future. That could be anything from NASCAR. Whatever sponsors are willing to help pay for or want to cover. I think we want to bring that fan experience and fan point of view out there.
Okay. I think I honestly, my humble opinion, I think you keep doing the ones for the United.
Yeah.
You gotta stay true to your baby.
Oh yeah, with Unrelegated and Atlanta Fan TV, we'll still definitely do that. Yeah,
but I'm thinking like if you do something like that with college sports, you will get a lot of exposure.
Yeah,
a lot of exposure with college sports.
Well, we'll have to lean on you guys as consultants. You guys can tell us maybe what we could focus on. You guys are all up in that.
I can give you a few pointers. Free of charge. I won't even charge you that. I just want hey, I want you to grow, and in the meantime, I want our channel to grow too. So hey, we partner together. Hey, it's a win-win situation. So
hey, we check in the chat real quick. CC saying got to get down to he says he got to get down to a soccer game. Hey, CC, you need to join one of these
support groups. Yep.
Support groups as well, because for a good charge, yes.
He will. I already know he will.
He also updated us as well with the 21st pick. The Braves selected a strong safety. The Braves selected a shortstop out of Texas A&M. Braden Shea. Yeah, I can't believe I said a strong safety. Yeah. Thanks, CC, for the update.
Y'all, I saw it come down. I saw it on my ESPN line. But like I was waiting to after the show what we were talking about. But we can talk a little bit more about For Real Sports, when we get off the air, because I liked everything that y'all did in the video, and Kelly, like we need to have her on the show one day, man. It looked like she can literally like beat a grown man behind. she's so energetic and so feisty all the time.
Kelly's one of the guys, man, and she can probably drink you under the table too. So she's actually was on the Solids and Stripes podcast, which is a podcast based here in Atlanta United fans, but not focused on Atlanta United. That are two designers, Luke, Larry Luke, and Chris from Iron Tooth Design. Who do a lot of have done a lot of work. Larry Luke is known in the shoe community and has done a lot of art and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, she's all over the place. She's been on that podcast tonight when I'm with you guys. So, but definitely get on the show.
Yeah, and also, you guys, if y'all haven't followed Unrelegated Podcast on Twitter or Facebook, please follow them a lot, like them, you guys. And they also their shows are also on iTunes and on Google too.
Yeah, we're on all the platforms, and then our podcasts are recorded. If you'd like to watch them on YouTube, you can find them at Atlanta United Fan TV.
Okay. Hey, go join them, y'all. Go follow them. Subscribe to their channel.
Yeah. Hey, wow. Oh, go ahead, Don.
Yeah. And also, I want to give a shout out to Lloyd's. They also customized my kit. This Saturday, all thing I had to do, I gave them my kit. They put my name, my number on there. It was $35.
Even spelled it right.
That was a nice jersey. Jay, I was gonna tell you while you were go ahead and plug. I was gonna tell you to go ahead and finish plugging all your stuff.
Yeah, so you can find us. Unrelegated is at UnrelATL on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, as well as Atlanta United Fan TV, which is ATL UTD Fan TV on Twitter, and you can find it on YouTube as well. So you can subscribe there for all of our most of our video podcast content is all up there, as well as vlogs that I work for and do a lot of content. And then you can find the Unrelegated YouTube channel. We just posted a tailgate spotlight where we follow around a group of guys called Parceros United of men and women who are, as they say, even though they have a Colombian twist, everyone's a parcero. And we follow them around the tailgate, drinking some Cuervo and having a dance party after the Atlanta United match. And I made it into a music video. So if you like reggaeton, you got a music video up there as well, and you can check that out. So yeah, and then 4 Real Sports is number 4 Real Sports on all the social media platforms and 4realsports.com.
Jay, I got to tell you, man, when we have you on the show, you're like a polished vet. Like I would believe that you did years in broadcasting or years in communications, years like you're like a polished vet. Like seriously, like
yeah. Because at first I was thinking like he more like the Lieutenant Dan of Atlanta United. You know, Lieutenant. No.
Lieutenant Dan.
Not from Forrest Gump. Not from Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Oh, he's thinking that Lieutenant Dan. Okay, no.
not Lieutenant Dan, but Lieutenant Dan. I don't know if you watch any Falcons podcast, anything. Yeah. But his name, well, I ain't gonna say his real name, but he's known as Lieutenant Dan. He has his own show on YouTube, his own channel, Unintentional Grounding.
Oh, okay.
And he does a great job like covering the Falcons. Like I think like the Atlanta Falcons should hire this man. Him, man, the real Pat Man and man Mike Sports. But man,
there's a lot of talented people out there, especially on YouTube, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It is.
But yeah, y'all.
I appreciate the compliment. That's very, very humbling. Yeah. Thank you.
He does a great job with the Falcons. You do a great job with United. You know, I was surprised. Like y'all need to get y'all like Atlanta United need to get y'all some credentials, man. Y'all need to.
Well, we do get credentials sparingly. We do talk to their communications team regularly. It's a tightrope, right? Because we want to maintain that fan perspective. And if you start to get press credentials regularly, you kind of fall onto that other side of the line, and you become more of a journalist. And that's what you have. Dirty South Soccer, and you have great platforms that do that, right? That are from that more journalistic perspective. And so we did 2 of us got press credentials at the Red Bulls games. But I can tell you, after the first 30 minutes, I left the press area and I filmed the rest of the video from up by the supporter section, the away section. So, I got some footage down there in the beginning, but at the end of the day, we give the fans perspective. And but shout out to Matt Moore and the communications team at Atlanta United. They've been very helpful. To be honest, I just don't think we reach out to them all that much. And I know Atlanta United Fan TV did get a press credential for the Major League Soccer final, the MLS Cup final. And AJ from Atlanta United Fan TV had field level access, so they did give him that. So it's out there, but like I said, it's kind of a fine line you got to choose.
Yeah, you like to see it from the fan perspective.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we would lose some credibility if we always went in there with press credentials, And I don't think there's anything wrong with having press credentials at the time because it does give you access, as long as you're using that access to give the fans a perspective of behind the scenes and give them that access as well.
Yeah, because Eric Cortana, we talked to him
out the South. Yep.
Yeah, he was on our show, and he pretty much told us that you can't yell or cheer anything in the press box, so they kick you out.
Yeah, you can't. And the thing is, like, we could have, with our press pass, I could have gone down there and I could have gone to the locker room area. I could have engaged in the press pool and stuff like that. But what would that have added in terms of value to the video or the experience that a regular fan would have? Because a regular fan wouldn't be able to put themselves in our shoes and say, well, I'm going to fly up there and then I'm going to meet the team. Like, that's just not going to happen. Right. So we're fine with taking the hit and not doing that stuff. And even if we can, we choose not to. So,
but you gaining a lot of people. You getting a lot of followers.
Mm-hmm. The audience has been tremendous. Yeah.
I'd rather, no disrespect to the teams, but I'd rather get, followers and respect from fans versus the team. That's just my opinion. Because at the end of the day, we do this because we are we are fans.
Mm-hmm.
We are fans, and we created our content for the fans
and bring you the fans' perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but we appreciate you coming on, Jay. I know it was Monday nights. I know it's kind of you got plenty of things to do on a Monday night. So, but we appreciate you coming on and joining us. Hopefully, we'll have you on again sometime down the line. Hopefully, probably in the next, couple of months or whatnot.
And I'm gonna meet you soon at the tailgate. I'm telling you, in June, I will be down soon. I'm gonna be paying my membership, and I will be drinking plenty Tito's and roasted pig and empanadas.
I look forward to it. The Heineken trailer's got 2 TVs on each side, and they got big old fans, so you can stay nice and comfortable in the heat. And it was great seeing you, Don, and your son, and meeting your son at the tailgate. It's great that you were able to show him that experience at that age. I wish I was able to have experienced soccer in the way that it's going on here in the city when I was his age, and I think that it's going to affect him, and it's something he'll always remember.
Yeah, now he wanted. Yeah, he really had a blast. Now he talking about he want to play soccer again because at first, a couple years ago, I had him playing soccer. And he didn't want to do that no more. He want to do karate.
He's got to have idols. You got to have people that you strive up to and want to do it. And you see someone like Jose Martinez. I mean, what a better character, right? Kneeling on the ground like smoking the cigarette.
Yeah, but he like Guzan. He like the goaler.
Oh, he like Guzan, the polar bear.
Yeah, yeah, that's who he like. Like I said,
hey,
I can't tell you who you like, but hey, as long as you like somebody on the team, I'm happy on.
Emulate somebody.
Exactly. But for everybody out there who's watching this at a later time, please hit us up in the comment section what you want to talk about or what questions you have of the show, and we're gonna pretty much hit you guys back up no later than 12 hours or 24 hours. Please hit that like button. Please share this video with other fans. And also hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed so far. We almost at 200. So we at the road to 200. That's where we at right now. I think we only got 8 more people, 8 more. We only have 8 subscribers left.
What are y'all waiting for? Do it.
Exactly.
It's free. The channel's free. We're not charging y'all anything.
Free subscription.
Exactly. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, blow it up. And also, as always, come holla
at your hometown sports podcast. See, that was much better than the beginning. See, we just needed to look. We getting the mid-season form. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, man. Y'all guys have a good evening. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all have a great rest of y'all week. We'll see y'all Sunday.